completely wrong. That's the problem. That's the issue. That's what it is. You're wrong. Hey guys, scene. That's how arguments shouldn't be handled. No, I'm playing. I don't know. Right? Yeah. People are like, what the hell is wrong with this guy? Why are they yelling at her? Oh.
But welcome to Quest for Players. We are on our second week of looking at Black Mirror episodes.
Yes.
Last week's was a pretty uplifting one. I thought
it
we
was.
had a really good time about the whole dating situation.
Definitely.
So now we are moving past the kind of dating honeymoon phase and on to some real shit.
Real stuff. Hey, when the honeymoon phase is over, that's when the relationship really starts. A lot of people like to say 90 days into an actual relationship, that's when you actually meet the person.
So 3 months. So 3 months, you get a 3-month honeymoon phase, and then you start. I feel like that's pretty good.
It is. By then, you guys have seen each other a lot. You've gone with all the infatuation. It's been covered. And then it becomes, now we are an actual couple. We are working with things. Because when it comes to a relationship, one thing that a lot of people like to not think about properly is that, well, you know, it's kind of a battle. A relationship is a battle, and it's usually a thing is where you and your partner should be the team versus the world. That's how it should be.
It should be, but you're still trying to figure each other out. You don't know everything there is to know about each other.
True.
You're spending more time, and you're kind of starting... Those kind of rose-colored glasses are becoming clearer, and the clarity is becoming a little bit sharper. So you're going to start to analyze what you want, where your future is going, and if this person actually matches you.
That's true. That's very true. And we'll be dealing with a little bit of that and some other stuff before. But let's start. You want to start with the review of the episode that we're talking about today?
Yeah. So if you haven't seen this particular episode, it is this guy, and in this particular world, they have these things called, what are they called?
They're called grains.
Grains. They have grains that record everything in your entire life. Especially since, like, human memory is faulty, and you misremember quite a lot of things.
That's
Changes the color of a car, places that you've been.
That's right. It's one of
the people.
It's one of the worst.
The Mandela effect weighs heavy on the natural parts of your brain.
That's
so
very
the
true.
brain actually prevents all this, where you could rewind it or flip it and reverse it. Am I too maybe Missy Elliott?
No, what are you talking about? She just got her icon or whatever award.
Oh, nice.
At MTV. So
all right, so we're gonna be like Missy Elliott then, and we're gonna replay it back.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta go ahead and play it through. You gotta see what's happening.
And in a relationship, this is going to come up a lot. This is one of the things in the episode that comes up in my relation. That's not what you said.
No.
That isn't what you said. Yeah, it was. Yo, hold up. Let me rewind that. Yep.
Boom.
Look, that's not what you said.
But it's very interesting because with this episode, one thing I was trying to think of a good tagline for the episode, and one part of it was lies and infidelity can create jealousy and paranoia. Because she lied to him about like the whole we're only friends at first. That's the first time she introduces him. Jonas. She said Jonas is just a friend. That's what she keeps saying over
it is
and
true,
over.
and I feel like I don't know. I've actually been in this kind of situation before. I'm like, why does love always feel like a battlefield? I don't know. Ask Matt Benatar. She'll probably tell you.
There you go. Or John Mayer. He also had a song later, and he tried to steal the same.
I am aging myself mold.
Oh man.
But yeah, it is one of those things, and we talked about it before. There was a question dealing with like lying and how to approach it, and and I kind of, in this particular instance, I get why Fee tries to minimize what past relationships might have been. And I find myself doing this too, because you don't want to hurt the other person's feelings and be like, that was the most passionate sex I've ever had with that person.
Okay, no, but that's not the question that could have been asked when he first was trying to find out. Yes. And he asked Fee, what's going on, who's that guy? Fee had the opportunity not to lie.
It is true.
The doctor had the opportunity not to lie.
But and the doctor lies.
The doctor lies, man.
It's one of the rules.
Right? Oh, Heartbreak Warfare. I love that. Oh, my God. I love that album. Anyway, oh, God, that album is really great. It's a really good one.
Who's
I have a whole review, John Mayer. It's a whole review I wrote for it. It was shocking. I'll share it.
All right.
Anyway, so Fee lies to him at that moment and immediately says, oh, he's just a friend. He used to be like the leader of our group, And it was like, no, this is a guy that you dated for 6 months.
Yeah, and like, in passing, I could kind of see, like,
At least tell me that. Don't tell me about your infidelity if you don't want to, but at least tell me that part.
That is true.
Don't tell me that you banged him 18 months ago if you don't want to, but tell me this part.
But I feel like back in the day, like I don't do it anymore. Like I'm very upfront, but it's like it is one of those things that growing up, like like during high school and college, and words would be thrown around like, "Oh, you're a slut" or whatever. It's like, oh. Like you said, you don't really reveal your number unless it's a specific question aimed at you. And it's like, I feel like I never really revealed like how deep the connection was because it's like in the past. Like I'm with you now. It doesn't really matter. So I'm going to try to minimize it to make you feel good. I don't do that anymore because, man, that led to a lot of issues. Not as crazy as this shit.
Oh, no.
But you know what I mean?
No. Yeah, that's right, Comic Book Realtor. It's called Battle Studies and Heartbreak Warfare is the song. You're right. Thank you. But yeah, with that, the question comes, is it the technology or is it the people? Which one's the problem?
It's always going to be the people. This is the
That's
technology
right.
is
I love
just
that.
putting
I love
a
that.
magnifying glass on an issue that starts with us.
That's it. The second's literally, like you said, it's just a strain of the relationship, and it's actually helping, like you said, magnify it. I love that.
And everyone
exactly
seems to know this. Like, everyone seems to accept this because even when, what I'm trying to say, when he goes back to the airport and they go through whatever version of TSA that they have, it's like, hey, are we going to find any missing gaps? Did you delete anything? Because it seems shady. Like, you don't do that. It's kind of like trying to hide and lie and everything. Like, you're eventually going to be found out.
Yeah.
TSA knows it. And even the police, when, what's her name? The girl that didn't have the grain and was sleeping. Well, let's get to Larry Newbill's super chat. Thank you so much, Larry Newbill.
He says, all officially packed and ready to be shipped. What he is talking about, exactly, what he is talking about is a care package. Larry, we love this man to death because he definitely takes care of us.
And care package, thanks so much. And we kind of played a little bit of that truth or drink game.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, once again, thank you, Larry. No, you were saying, sorry, I interrupted your thought.
I already lost my train of thought. Thanks so much for that super chat, Larry. Let's just rewind it a little bit to see if I can retrace
Well, interesting question then. With what she did and everything, the more of a bigger question is the omission of some truth an actual lie?
Yes.
Our producer is saying yes.
But honestly, I mean, how do you feel? Because it's kind of up and down for me.
Is it purposeful omission or is it accidental omission?
Ooh, purposeful omission or accidental omission?
Yeah, purposeful is definitely
a lie. Now, accidental omission, it's accident. Didn't mean it, you know? It's like, oh, I didn't mean it. But sometimes there's and that's the thing, with her purposely omitting that they were in a relationship.
Because it is one of those things, too, where it's like, oh, how long were you in that relationship? I'm like, I don't do anniversaries and stuff, so I'm like, a year? Maybe close, give or take. But hers was definitely, like, it was a week, then it was a month, and then it was 6. So that was purposeful. She was trying to she was trying to lie, and she got caught. And every time you lie, I feel like eventually you're going to get caught.
You definitely are. There's not even a question about it. Like, whatever you do in the dark is eventually going to come to light. And when it does come to light, it's going to be at a moment where you don't want it to. And that's where it hits you the hardest. So take control of it. Be in charge. Go ahead and tell the truth and realize that, hey, you know, whatever's going to happen is what's supposed to happen. That's my suggestion.
Right down
when it comes to that
lies.
stuff.
And
write down your lies. No, because you'll start. No, don't ever write down your lies.
Someone will find out
exactly,
and then you will immediately. You don't want to leave paper trails if you're going to try to lie.
Oh no!
Do not leave a paper trail. That is not good advice. Don't lie. And that was the thing that I was talking about. Like even the girl that didn't have the grain or whatever when she called the police station. It's like, can you show us your grain or replay what it is? Because it's probably a prank call.
Right. Exactly.
And it shows how important the truth actually is in this episode. That if you're not willing to be forthcoming, if you're not willing to have it, people are just not going to trust you. They're not going to take you seriously. You're going to be denied certain privileges, and that's what happens to, Jodie Whittaker in this episode, our friend.
That's true. That's true. Oh my God, Toku, you just said something that I was thinking about.
What?
I did think about this. I'm surprised airdropping memories isn't a thing in this world. For that world, because in Europe and also in New York, and is it Europe, New York, and a lot of places in Japan, they've actually passed some laws concerning airdropping because people will literally airdrop dick pics to women, just like crazy.
I get them at conventions.
See, okay, that is so weird.
They're usually in anime form though. Or like, I got a Thanos one.
Second of all, why are you accepting random airdrops?
I don't. It comes up and it says accept or reject, but I have my airdrop on for everyone and not just contacts. I've changed that now. But
that is crazy. Like, I can't believe that's a thing. People are just like, all right, time to airdrop this dick. Wow. Like, you're like, no! Ah, why? You know?
The mean ones. The mean
Yeah,
ones.
like, that's all I imagine. Like dick
Yeah.
falling from the sky. It's not okay. It's not okay. But here's a good question. So with everything that you saw, everything that we know,
Yes.
technology comes out.
Yes.
Would you go greenless?
That is actually a really good question. There are pros and cons to everything. I'm one of those where one of my maybe not biggest fear, but one of my fears is getting Alzheimer's and not being able to remember the people I love and the events and things that I've gone on. And I feel like I would probably be in favor of having a grain. I also don't lie anymore, so that's not really an issue for me. Reliving things, but the one thing that would be weird is that every time you do something, there's an automatic sex tape of you for like yourself and the other person. That's the one thing, like in a relationship, I would not want, and especially since you could put on a TV and replay it, and like someone could force you like do it or I'll gut you like a fish, and it's
Dude.
like oh okay, and then that since the new person has seen it, now that video is in their grain,
Yes.
and that.
Well, what you haven't said.
Right?
Yeah.
It's just like,
It's
it's
weird.
weird.
It's a
It's
weird
weird.
thing.
It's
And
not acceptable. It's not good. But you just brought up something though, interesting. Now, on the episode, the husband definitely displayed like kind of like a violent side, a
Yes.
very forceful, violent
Yes.
side. In the end of the episode, he comes to. The wife is gone.
Yes.
The baby's gone. Like the little.
Yeah.
The thing's
Of course she
gone.
left.
So, here's a question.
Even though
that
it was
I've
her
been-
transgression.
Now, see, that's the thing. She left him. She knew that he had the question of is that my baby or if it's not.
Yeah.
You know? And she took the child and she left as well. The question I have is, did they leave or another option? Because, you know, they like to go dark. They like to have a twist.
It's true.
Did he kill her, hide the bodies and everything like that, and he was getting rid of the grain so that he wouldn't have it, so it can't testify against
Wow,
it?
this just turned into crocodile episode a little bit. I actually really like that idea. I did.
I wrote it down. And I was
did
like,
not
I
even
wonder.
consider that. If that was the case, I really like that. I like that a lot. Actually, I like that kind of fan theory. That's what he might have done. I don't think. Okay, the thing is, it's so easy to blame this guy as being such a dick and overreacting and everything else. But his paranoia was actually validated.
It was validated.
Like, and the signs he was seeing were obviously crystal clear. And even for people where I don't think he means it maliciously, he was pushed over the edge by the circumstances and being lied to repeatedly. And I think. Even the most good-hearted people... No, I can't say that because Killing Joke kind of proves it wrong if you've ever seen
Oh,
it.
damn!
Gordon
Okay.
doesn't do it. But I feel like I kind of do believe like the Joker in that situation where like one bad day can push you over the edge potentially. Gives her a chance, is like, hey, I want you to come clean. I saw this thing. I want you to come clean. I want you to come clean. If you're not going to tell me the truth, I will search it out somewhere else.
That's true. He did. He did say that. And
Yeah.
she still tried to go ahead and
And then
delete it.
he found the truth. He came back, gave her another chance, and she lied twice more. So, I don't know. And he always feels remorseful. The one thing that makes me think he's a good guy is he gets stressed out. The moment that he calls her a bitch, you can see that he has that look of remorse on his face. He's like, shit, I can't believe I said that.
Literally
You know.
was the option where once he said it, like he said, he called her a bitch, and she was like, "What?" And it was one of those where he was thinking that, like, I know he was having that argument. And he was like, "Don't call her a bitch. Don't call her a bitch. Don't call her a bitch. You bitch!" And she was like, "Oh my God, don't stop. Don't say it again. Don't say it. You bitchy bitch." And it was like, "Oh my God, you're going down. You're going down." Bitch! And he just walked out. I was like, why? Don't do this! You're ruining everything! And it was like,
But
don't
like
do
he
it.
felt bad. Like at the moment he said it, he was like, it's like that's not what I meant. So I feel like any person, like I don't believe he's a bad person. I don't believe that he's naturally violent, and I don't want to make excuses for any sort of domestic violence, which this could be the case. And you could show signs of remorse, but I'm kind of on the fence. Like I don't think this guy is the worst human being in the world. He's not great by any means. I don't want to condone anything that he did, but it's like, man, when you are in a relationship and you love someone that passionately and you just want the truth, you know, it's a fine line.
I do love this because everyone's watched it and they're
Yes.
like, there's comments galore.
All right, what do we got? What do we got?
Common Writer finally says, okay, I will watch Black Mirror. Now it sounds quite interesting. I'm glad we just sold the show to
pretty
you.
dark.
That's
It's
good.
pretty dark,
Yeah, it's
but,
dark, but you'll love it, man. It's Twilight Zone for us. That's what it is.
It is.
Whitney Wilson.
Don't start with season 1, episode 1, though. Like, I would do that later. I would do that
Do it
later.
the way they introduce it to you. I mean, hey, if they're not going to ease it in, they're just going to be like, all right, we're giving you full story and ruining your life.
balls deep.
Take it. Well, I wasn't saying that.
That's
Whitney
what
Wilson.
the Prime Minister did.
Yeah, oh, boy. Oink, oink. All right, so Whitney Wilson says, I don't think he killed her. Oh, you're going to debunk my theory? My theory is perfect and
What did she
solid.
say? What's
but
the
she says,
evidence?
okay,
What's the evidence?
because there would have been some type of hint in his memory at the end of the episode when he was deleting her folder. Even though he was going to
Oh, there might have been. I wonder if there's like a freeze. Yeah,
I wonder.
At the very end when he
well,
deletes everything, yeah.
Yeah, but there wasn't. I'm going to have to go back and watch it.
Unless he deleted that particular episode immediately.
Immediately.
And then wanted to
after
relive the good
everything
stuff.
else. Yeah, because we don't know, because it was like he woke
But
up.
that is a good point.
Because he woke up on the bed, the crib is gone and all that.
The painting is
Yeah, the
gone,
painting's gone. So
everything
I'm thinking
is gone.
it could have been, he could have just snapped, killed her and all that stuff, wiped the memory, and just laid down like out of shock.
He could have been drunk because he doesn't remember how
That's
he
right.
left the other guy.
Yeah, and he crashed the car.
Crashed
That's
the car.
true.
Didn't
That's
remember.
true.
He had to rewind and be like,
Oh,
shit.
yeah. So maybe.
Say it or I'm going to gut you like a
God,
fish.
dude, that was just so crazy. Okay, so here's the question.
Okay.
Just with that alone. Would you not want to know if it's a one-time thing and would never happen again? Like, the infidelity is a one-time thing, never happen again.
And this wasn't
Would
a
you-
one-time thing. But for
but I'm
me,
just saying, imagine it's a one-time thing. It's never going to happen again. It never did happen again. But whatever. Would you still want to know?
I would want to know.
No?
I would.
Oh, you would.
I
So
would want to know.
ignorance is not bliss in that situation.
Like,
Definitely
if you're
it's a
willing
problem.
to put, like, one of my biggest things in any relationship, one of the first things that I say is, like, if you ever put my health at risk, I'm going to castrate you with a dull and rusty spoon.
Ooh!
And, like, that's not something that you get to take charge of for my life. Like, if you're going to cheat, by all means, you can cheat. You just fucking let me know before you, like, be intimate with me again. And it's like, I need to know the truth.
Damn.
Because
that's talk about never lacking. You said
Yeah.
that don't
It-
get you. She gonna catch you slacking. Rusty spoon.
Yeah.
It's gone. Scoop it out.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
I get it.
And then I'll scoop out your eyes. Because then it's like, I need you to see what's going on in there.
Oh my God.
I'm a very vengeful. Like, that is like one of my.
Vengeful.
Not even
Ooh.
vengeful, but it's like, that is my one massive deal breaker.
So
And it's a
homewreckers.
personal issue. Like, some people are able to get over it and it's fine, but I'm like, no, you put my health at risk. They're not someone that is concerned about me.
Damn.
Especially in that case where it's like, yo, Jodie Whittaker, you didn't even use condoms.
Yo, yeah, when he was like, let me see. I
That's what I
deleted
would
that
want to know
part.
too, where it's like, oh, so you're lying to me about that? You're lying to me like, no.
Yep.
Deal breaker,
It's
100%. And
Oh my gosh. You know what? See, and that's the thing. We look at it and we think to ourselves, oh, okay, cheating, homewreckers, blah, blah, yada, yada. It's more of a thing that we as humans do, and usually it can be like, oh, it's a first world problem. No, it's not true. We know it happens everywhere, but it also happens in the animal kingdom as well. In fact,
Yes.
I think we have something to show you guys concerning that it does indeed happen in the animal kingdom. Let me know when that's ready. If it's ready, because I want to see it. You guys don't believe it. I know, it's kind of weird. It's kind of scary.
It is
but
kind of
here
scary.
it
It
is.
gets
to
graphic.
find his wife with another penguin.
There's no sound on this, right? So we're going to
He
narrow
flips
it.
out.
Are we going to narrow
His
it?
No, there's
strategy is
sound,
simple. Batter the homewrecker until he flees. The love rivals
All
call
right.
to
Well,
the
a fight
female
breaks out when a
to
husband
let
comes
her
home and
decide
finds
the
his wife with
victor.
another penguin. So we see these cute, adorable penguins
She chooses
yelling at each other.
They've
the
just started
homewrecker.
fighting, and now the wife shows up,
Husband
and the wife
stands to
says,
lose the
I'm
mother
going
of
to
his
pick
children.
the homewrecker.
Yes.
And she walks off with the
He
homewrecker.
follows
Now, the
them
problem
home.
is, the husband,
This
the
fight
father
isn't over yet.
of the kids is now at the cost of
With the
losing
homewrecker
his
hiding
wife,
in the
his
burrow,
home, his
the
kids.
only way to
So
get to
he's
him
going to fight for
is
what
with
he
the
He's got to
loves.
protect it.
Yes. So he comes out and pulls this guy out. They are fighting, just going for it,
Oh,
getting
Lord,
bloody.
I'm so
And
sad.
finally, he calls out to her one more time.
But she's got
One
no
more
time
time.
for losers,
But
defeated
she doesn't have time for
and
this.
humiliated.
And she
He's left
allows
out in
him
the cold.
to go off on his own.
Yeah.
And then insult to injury, he can't even get over the
This
swing.
husband
And
had
it's just
come
the
home
worst
to
thing
his
ever.
man.
for him.
wife
It's
with
the worst
another
thing ever.
penguin.
But it definitely does happen. It definitely does happen in the animal kingdom as well, guys. Just wanted to make sure that we kind of give you that and let you remember that infidelity is something that everyone can suffer from or deal with or be a victim of.
It is
You
true.
can also
and
be a perpetrator. So
true.
it's something you may want to kind of look into. But one aspect of the episode is something that I would love to be able to continue to talk about, which is actually just fights, disagreements.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be as severe as cheating or infidelity or any of that. The fights can break out with the most mundane things, and those of you in relationships probably have some ridiculous things to talk about.
Well, okay, I have something I wrote. I just wanted to kind of put out first, just so people can hear it. Like, see, this is the thing. When we argue, we shouldn't choose the need to be right over loving our partners. Victimizing ourselves or focusing on proving how right we are keeps us attached to our egos. And when we're attached to our egos and they get involved, we bring out all the weapons. So that's a big thing that we got to make sure we remember. When it comes to arguing, you're not looking at it like, I'm right, and I have to make sure I'm proving I'm right. No, the whole thing is, I love you, you love me, but there is a problem. Let's work to diffuse this problem. That's what the whole point of the argument is. Two people seeing one thing in two different ways. So that means it's his side, her side, then the truth, or his side, the truth. Whoever it is, whatever it is, two people's side, and then the truth. So take the time to work together to get to that.
It is, and it's coming to an understanding where you guys want to progress a relationship. I feel like the real reason why people get angry is because they really do love and care about the other person, and they're not living up to maybe expectations that they have in their head or standards that they have in their head. But it's not a count against them. It's like no one's a mind reader. No one really knows. If you don't speak up,
it's true.
How's the other person going to know? And, you know, everyone's like, oh, no, you're my soulmate. You're just supposed to understand me.
Oh, God.
No, that is absolutely not true. You need to have communication. Communication about everything, even the smallest tiny little things.
Yes.
And it doesn't have to be a fight.
It doesn't. You guys can truly talk and have a conversation. And it may be that, hey, I disagree with you on this, but listen. Take the time to listen and have that conversation. One thing I wrote, and this is something that I was definitely looking into when it comes to, like, just disagreements, because that's what it should be. It should be a disagreement. It shouldn't be an argument. It shouldn't be a fight. It should be a disagreement. At the most, it can grow into an argument, but it shouldn't be a fight. But I noticed that a lot of people do fight, and when I start to look it up online to see what kind of couples fight or lovers spat or whatever, I could find that's trending, and it was like couples arguments, and it's such a big thing. There are people online right now. There's a social media team, Chicklet and whatever his girlfriend's name is. They're in New York, and their whole thing is like ridiculous fights. Out of nowhere, it's just these two. He's doing anything, and she's like, "Oh, well, that's stupid." Blah blah blah, and then they just get into it.
But see, that's the kind of language. The language that you choose is a reflection of kind of like how you're going to deal with this. I feel like you get better as you grow up. It's one of those things that, like, you know, kids on the playground like, "Well, you're stupid," and then you just learn to be more articulate. You learn to like care and like word things better.
I have a list too, but let me say this one part.
All right.
Constant yelling and shouting fights are a clear sign, well, to me at least, or what people see, is a clear sign of a lack of respect that you both have for each other in the relationship.
Yeah.
If it is constant yelling and fighting, like those kind of shouting matches, that's how you guys argue, that's how you disagree, there's a problem. And it's that issue that it's just a lack of respect on both sides for each other, and that's something that you need to check, and you need to learn how to properly communicate.
It is,
just like you said,
and it is. And if you have an issue, and I feel like these fights kind of, I can't speak for everyone, but I feel like they do either stem from like a sensitive issue, or it's something that you've ignored for a really long time and it blows out of nowhere.
And you're holding it in, right?
If you're fighting all the time about every little thing and the most mundane things, and it's not a sensitive issue, and you're just easily irritated, I kind of just feel like, well.
Oh, that's so true.
You got to learn to grow up, man. Like, I don't know what to say to that.
So I made a list.
All right.
Of like don'ts, do's, blah, blah, whatever. Okay. To see how that really works out when it comes to the discussion or debate point, as Whitney would say.
Yes, it should be a discussion. She's absolutely right. It should never turn into an argument. You're eventually going to reach it. There's eventually going to be some arguments if you live long enough in that relationship long enough. But the majority of conversations that you should have should be discussions.
Yes, it just makes sense, guys. Yes. But so one option I have a few. But first one, don't include other people into your fights.
Yes, do not post on social media. I feel like that is already asking to take sides. It's going to be a biased post. always talk about it with the person that it's concerning.
That's right. It's like,
First and foremost.
keep it between you two. That's it.
There's
That's
no
it.
reason to invite anybody else into an argument.
Not at
Unless
all.
it's like you already talk about it, you're still unsure. You can talk to your close friends, but don't put it on social media. Your friends and family and everybody else and vague acquaintances don't need to know your business.
That's your business. You guys keep that for you. Don't bring everyone else into it. When you guys talk about it, you always say our relationship. If it's your relationship, then you have to deal with the problems that go with it too. Don't bring it to everyone else.
It's true.
Next.
You're a couple. A couple is always two.
That's it.
You never see.
That's it. You're not doing a triple or whatever.
Yeah.
So, do not fight in public. Others should not know your personal transgressions. You shouldn't put them on display. Because the thing is, if you do that, that's also kind of like bringing people in. There will be another time where all these people will see you. And now they know something a little bit more than what they should have known before. And that's going to be something that does kind of run in their heads. And then also, just in public, the way you look ridiculous.
Well, the
no
thing
one
is,
likes to
it's
see
a
people
total
fight in
disregard for other people. Like, you already don't care about the person you're screaming at in public. You don't care about the opinions of anyone else. And like, at a certain point, you shouldn't care what other people think. But you shouldn't be having a shouting match, a fighting thing, like, out in the open. I mean, that shows just a total disregard for like everybody else.
Yeah, that's true. See, now the Come Up 18 says, no, don't even bring in your close friends. They have subjective opinions as well.
Yeah. I mean, they don't need it. Like, it's your relationship. You should be able to figure it out with your partner first and foremost. There are certain things where it's like, oh, maybe you could talk about things like, hey, you got a job somewhere else and I don't want to move. My parents are here. My brother. Right. That's someone where you might need to talk about your family. Because guess what? That argument involves other people. Or that discussion involves other people.
That's true.
So it's kind of like on a case-by-case basis.
It depends.
Yeah.
So another one, don't bring in past offenses. Stay true to the fight.
Yes.
Now, that for me, it's like...
Unless the past offenses build it into this, where it's like, hey, I didn't like you talking to other girls, and I asked you,
if that is the fight.
And then it leads to infidelity. It's like, I feel like you can bring that up, but you can't be like, well, you didn't do the dishes last week. But I'm like, we're talking about like something totally different now.
Well, that makes sense. That's true. Yeah, that's exactly it. That's exactly it. If it does, like, okay, it dovetails, and this is the reason why, and it makes sense, and you're not just reaching out for it. Because the thing is, you got to focus on the subject at hand. You can't just, you have to resist the urge to pile on. Yeah. And then also, you'll know if you're piling on, because you should avoid particular words. 2 words in particular. Always and never.
It's true.
During a fight, if you're like, oh, but you always bought, now you're bringing in everything else. Yeah. There's no reason to bring everything else if we're talking about what's happening right now. He didn't wash the dishes today. Now, sometimes you may have to say, I always have to wash the dishes. Hey, that could happen. That could happen. So it's not a hard and fast rule. It's not black and white. But try to avoid using always and never and talk about what's happening now. So another one.
There was something I wanted to address that was in here, but I don't know how to even scroll on the computer.
It's killing me on this one. This one is like...
Oh, man. There was something about... So the Come Up 18 says, that's how people show that they actually care by yelling because they weren't taught any different growing up. I think that might be a situation where your parents are always arguing, but it's like, how do you feel when someone is screaming at you? Does that make you feel good? If you're in a relationship, you're there to be respectful and supportive of the other person. And if you're raised that way, you might get a pass when you're, say, 14, 15, 16. But I say, like, once you're into your mid-20s, you need to figure that shit out.
Yeah.
Figure out your shortcomings and learn how to get over it.
From 18 to 25, you're learning, you're actually addressing all the shortcomings that you've either been taught, like, nature versus nurture kind of thing. You're figuring out what the stuff that you've taught and the stuff that you've grown into. Because the thing is, trust me, by the time you guys hit about 18, 19, blah, 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 whatever, your parents probably were the parents that said, don't cuss in public, blah, blah, yada, yada. Sure enough, you step out the house and what are you saying? Oh, fuck, shit, bitch, everything else, whatever you want to say. You're saying these words and you're perfectly fine about it. Your parents taught you not to do that, but here you are. There are all these things that you have to figure out on your own. But you just have to learn
how to mature. Like, nobody likes being screamed at. If I yelled at you, like,
no.
Like, it makes you feel crappy. And you have to understand that, like, even if you were raised that way, that most people, when communicating, don't like being yelled at. It's just something like, you just got to grow up and mature.
That's true. That's true. No, Josh, another reason why Josh is single right here. That grain thing could work out well, though, if you're constantly having the same fight. Just tell the other person to look up the last time you fought about the same thing, and then after that you can just back out of the room. That's not going to help you because they will come for you. They will literally, so you want me to sit here and watch this? Oh, my mistake? I have to watch? Oh, God. Then after that, that's it. They will murder you. You will be found dead in a ditch. That's it. Don't. Trust me. You don't ever want to be able to, like, here's the record of how you made a mistake. One of the worst things you can ever do to some people. Don't do it.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of petty like that. I kind of understand where you're coming from, but if you
Oh
want to escalate, don't do that.
That's what I'm saying.
It's something that I would think about and never ever do.
Oh no!
I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
It is something that, like, if I had that, I'd be like, I would be hard pressed to be like. But
See,
also, I don't like having the same conversation twice. I'd
True.
be like, we've already talked about
okay,
it.
this is the thing. I don't argue. I don't argue. I have disagreements. I have debates. I do not argue because if I argue, there's no such thing as I don't have arguments. It's disagreements, debates, fights. I don't have arguments in between. That's how it goes for me. It's those two, and then fights. And fights, I'll do worse than that. I'll do worse than that. Here's a fucking nanny cam. Watch how your body movements are. You know, what the fuck? Yeah, I spent this money because I wanted you to see it. You know, like, it's like, oh, what the fuck, Dana? What's wrong with you?
But
that's how bad I can
like
be.
You can
but I don't
phrase
fight.
it where it's just like, hey, you know, like, we fought yesterday. I really didn't like how that goes. It made me feel really terrible. And if you want to watch it together to be like, you know, like, hey, this is the way you made me feel. I don't like it when you scream. Maybe it'll help.
Maybe that could help. Okay, maybe
behavior.
that could help. When you said bitch, did you see my face?
Yeah.
It hurt me that much.
And
because you said it 10 times.
You said it once. You said it once.
Whatever. Yeah, she just played it a whole lot. Oh my god. But moving on. Yes. Another one. Don't hold on to the past transgressions, which we kind of already brought up. You didn't want to address it within the same day or two. Don't try to bring it up or address it much later. Like, let's say something happens. You had this problem, and then you try to talk about it as soon as possible. Go ahead and diffuse it then. Don't sit there, let something happen. You're like, I'm mad about this,
and let it go on for days.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, like, honestly, if you play it off as no big deal, that person is going to think it's no big deal, move on, and probably forget it was even a thing.
That's very true. That's very true.
Like, I have the memory of a goldfish, and I'd be like, what? I don't even remember doing that or saying that, and why wouldn't you have just told me then?
Yeah.
Is there any reason to wait? Arguments are not like wine. It does not get better as it ages.
Oh no, it just gets worse. That's very interesting. Jalen does ask a question. Can fighting in general ruin the entire relationship?
Yes.
I think so.
I don't know.
If it's consistent and constant fighting, I'm asking the question. What relationship? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
That you guys don't have a relationship. You guys just have, fighting matches. Yeah, you just have fighting matches, and every once in a while, you guys probably have sex. That's it. That's it. It's just someone that you have sex with. Then later, all you want to do is argue with them, or someone that you may have a sweet moment with once, and then you have nothing else but arguments. It's not a relationship, man.
And you don't want to live like that. Like, you don't want to live in a constant battle and constant, like, screaming and yelling and, like, not having fun. Like, I don't know. I mean, there's probably people out there that actually enjoy arguing for whatever reason. I mean, if you do, hope you find someone else like that. But the majority of people want to have a good time.
Yeah. And just saying, if you guys do consistently argue, you're probably going to end up dragging in friends, and they don't like it. They probably hate you in moments. That would be one thing I'd be like, no, F you! I'm out of here. I gotta go.
But yeah, and Jalen Glover, you're saying, like, I don't know if this happened, but, like, it could get you slapped. If there's any, like, domestic violence at all, I would leave. That's
actually something I didn't even put on the list, but that's something
that is a red flag. That's not even a red flag. I take that back. That is a deal breaker. No one should ever have to put up with that. You need to walk away.
No one. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're the guy getting hit or if you're the woman getting hit. Anyone gets hit. Anyone.
Or if someone throws something at you.
Oh,
no.
No
one should
grabs,
ever put
throws
up with that.
things, any of that stuff. No, that's it. Because that level of respect is already gone. Yeah. And if they don't respect you in that way, Lord knows what may happen if they even get more upset. Get out, get out, get out. Yeah. That's my answer for that. Now, another one. Never talk about splitting, breaking up, divorcing. One of those kind of things. If it's just during an argument and you're just arguing, Don't just well maybe
Yeah,
we
that-
should
that is a
just break up. Maybe we should just
discussion. You can talk about that of like, hey, like this is how things are, and like this is something that I really want, and if we choose to go our separate ways, it could be amicable.
Exactly.
But yeah, in the heat of passion, like you don't want to bring that up. It just hurts the other person's feelings. You're not prepared for it. It's like it's kind of like that. I don't know. It's one of the most petty things I feel like you can do in an argument.
Oh yeah. Because I mean, really, what you're doing right there, you're threatening the relationship. And when you're threatening the relationship, there's no trust. You know what it does? When you threaten a relationship, you're destroying the trust. Because now that person's going to always look at you and just wonder, oh, is this time? Is this the moment? Is this it?
And
well,
once
then
you
I can't really
introduce
feel
that, it's
connection.
just like I feel like the thing to protect yourself if you've been hurt before is just to distance yourself even more, to not want to engage in that person. Like, if you just think you want to end it, then
you go right to the next one.
Yeah, and it's just like, fine.
You're
Okay,
moving
all
on
right,
to the
what's the
next
next one?
one.
What's the next one?
That's
What's the next
genius. My thing is, don't leave the house or place during the fight. Now it does depend because sometimes you need that space and you need to cool down, which is fine. Go to another room or you have to step out
But
to
you
cool
have to say
down.
that. You have to have that conversation of
that's
like,
the thing.
I'm getting really heated and I don't want to say something I might regret.
There you go.
I'm going to go take a breather and whatever
There
be
you
like.
go.
Even if you're super heated, be like, I still love you. I'm super upset, and I will call you tomorrow. I may not be ready to talk, but I'll let you know if I'm ready to talk to tomorrow.
That's right.
Tomorrow.
That's
or
right.
I need 5 minutes, or hey, I'm gonna need to take a walk. Like I need to clear my head. This is getting too heated.
There you go. But it has to be said properly,
It does.
just like that. If it's not, and you just get up and walk out, or you're like, bitch, and walk out, because
It
that
makes the other
word
person
goes,
feel
it
abandoned.
cuts.
Like it's one of those things.
It
Like you
does.
wouldn't do that to anyone else. Like mid conversation and walk away. It's just disrespectful.
Don't chase them.
And you don't ever want to be in that situation where it's like disrespecting,
That's true.
unsupportive.
It's very true. It's very true. Now, here goes another one that's kind of interesting. Resist the urge to hurt them in retaliation. Like when I
of
say that, I
course.
mean, because remember, hurt people hurt people. And that's something that you got to remember. They most likely hurt you inadvertently. That's how the first hurt happened.
Yes.
Anyway, when you're having this argument, they probably did it inadvertently. But when you seek out to hurt them, you're doing it on purpose. So you want to hurt a person that you supposedly love? Sounds like a problem. Sounds like an issue. Nobody ever thinks of it that way. But when you break it down, don't.
Yeah.
I don't want to cut you.
Absolutely no reason to do that.
I understand that they may have hurt you so bad that you were so pissed. Take that walk. Go ahead and breathe. Do something like that. But the whole thing of, okay, you know what I'm going to do right now? I'm going to go ahead and say something that hurts you just as much because I need you to understand how it feels. That is not going to make the person understand how you feel.
No.
That's actually going to hurt them.
And it might actually put them on the defensive, and you're not going to have a good conversation about
Because
whatever you're talking about.
Because then after that, now the person's talking about, I want to split, or anything like that.
Yep.
And they start going, all the things that we just said not to do, they're going to start to do because now they're hurt.
True.
And you're just sitting there, two hurt people hurting each other. What's the point? You're not getting anything done. There's no resolution. If you love the person, take the time. Remember, like we said at the very beginning, when you love the person more than you want to be right, a resolution can be present. So that's something you definitely want to check into. Approach it with humility. Be open to hear a hard truth about yourself.
And that is one of the hardest things that you can do, I feel like, because you don't ever, it is hard to, like, turn that eye inward.
Oh, it's
see
one of
your
the
own
worst.
shortcomings.
During a fight, too?
It's
Oh!
hard to admit that, like, hey, you know,
I'm not perfect.
Yeah.
I'm not good. I'm not, at this moment, I lack. I've been caught slipping.
But if you're the one pointing it out, you have to come up with this tactfully,
Oh,
respectfully.
so true.
Like
So true.
that can so easily be an attack on the other person, and that can so easily escalate to an argument.
Nope. Not at all. And there, that's right, Jalen. Nobody should be putting their hands on you. Like
Ever.
we said before, nobody should. If somebody ever does, it's time to go.
And no
Walk out.
excuses. There should never be
There's
any
never.
excuses.
There's never.
either.
No.
That's just a deal breaker.
Knife.
Pulling a knife out on you also, that's horrible too. That's just like throwing something at you.
making sure.
All of these things. See, yes, poor Shay.
Yeah.
Shay has definitely like seen a lot of trauma, guys.
Yeah.
You guys have to understand that. Jalen, To be honest, I don't know why I'm trying to date now. Fears of the past can keep you from moving forward in the future.
Oh, that's absolutely true. But
Yeah.
at the same time, like, if you're in an abusive relationship, you got to understand that there's a lot of people out there who are not abusive and who are genuinely good people. You really have to protect yourself, though. Look for those red flags. Avoid any of that stuff.
Definitely.
And that only comes with experience.
Yeah, it's honest. And I got one more.
What you
Looking
got?
at, and I was thinking I'm going to definitely say this one. Ask yourself, and this one actually I got from producer Josh, and I love it to this day.
What do we got?
Ask yourself at some time during this argument, just for yourself, check in with yourself,
Okay.
and ask, is this who I want to be?
Oh.
Honestly, look at yourself from another perspective and see if what you're doing is helping or hindering the growth of this relationship.
Wow. Producer Josh has some
Just- yeah.
insight.
Well, he didn't put all the rest of it. He just put
Okay,
the
just copy and
is
paste that.
this who you want to be was what he
But,
said.
I mean,
but then I
that's
got all of
not-
that from exactly what he said
That is
when
actually
we
really
talked
good.
about it, and it was like, yo, that is so true. Like, ask yourself, really take a moment to check in on you and be like, during this fight right now, is this who I want to be? Because, you're over here yelling, blah, blah, you're saying this, you're throwing you're throwing a roasting hand or whatever, you're pointing the fingers, whatever you're doing, and you're doing all this, and you take a moment and just, like, pause in your mind and just step out of yourself and look at yourself with a 360 and be like, is this the person I want to be right now?
It is true.
This person
because
yelling right now?
there
Like-
are some people out there, and it's like, I don't like being petty, and I don't like fighting and stuff. And it's like, even though someone that I really liked,
Josh said that, I don't believe it.
but yeah, like,
That's what people- Yes, Josh did say that, and he said it while we were right next to someone. They were having an argument, and Josh was like, "Hold on." He's all prolific, and he was like, "I need you to ask yourself something. Is this who you want to be?" And that person stopped in their tracks, and they did not know what to say. And then he was like, "Answer the question." The person was like, "No," and he was like, "So why are you doing this? What's the point?" And he just like really got into it, and it was like, "Oh my god!" I loved it so much.
but
I
it's
loved
true.
it so much.
Like, you have to do that, and it's like sometimes people will bring out the worst in you. You can't exactly pinpoint what it is, but
Oof.
that is one of those things where I'm like, I don't know why we fight so often. I don't know why I want to like say cruel things to you, but whatever it is, this is not who I want to be, and I'm gonna have to walk away.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
And it's sad, and sometimes it's not over one specific thing. It's just like that compatibility just is not there. The communication isn't there.
Exactly. Thomas Franco, no, unfortunately we didn't. Remember, what we're doing is taking in videos, which let me tell you guys now, just in case you guys didn't or weren't aware. What we do want from you guys is now when you guys send in your questions, we're trying to get them, collect them, and make sure that Jess is able to see them. We want Jessica to be able to answer them, and it will be a segment on the show where Jess will answer
Because we
your
do miss her,
fan
and we
questions.
wanted to see her. Maybe we should submit. Did we submit that to her? Did she?
I
send us the
I
answer?
did. She hasn't sent it yet. She's been
Okay.
kind of busy, so she was
Okay.
like, "I'll have it for next week." So, Thomas Franco, hopefully your fan question, well, not fan question, your advice question will
Yes.
be answered by Jess, because, like we said, we want to see her. We miss her.
Yeah.
So
We're
it's a
trying to
way
find
to
a
bring
way
her
to-
away.
yeah.
Exactly. It's a way to bring her back so she has to do stuff, so we can actually see her. We know you guys love her too, so we're definitely trying to do that. And that's what we would love for you guys to do. Send over any questions you may have to fanquestions at thathashtagshow.com. In the title, just put Q4P2 and then whatever you want to put after that, and we'll know that it's a fan question for Quest for Player 2.
Yes.
And then we'll send it over to Jess. She'll review it and she'll answer it. If you are sending in a video, just letting you know, if you're sending in a video, don't send it vertically. That's up and down when you're shooting with your camera. Go ahead and turn it over. Bow, like that. Horizontal, left to
Yes.
right. Do it this way. When you're recording yourself, trust me, it will help you look like a genius, because you don't want to be the one person that has that video with the black sides on it where you're like, that guy doesn't know to follow instructions. You don't want to be that person. You don't. Trust me, because we'll laugh at you. So, at least I will. She
I
may
won't.
not.
I
Okay,
won't.
see,
I don't know how to.
I'm the
technology.
intergalactic
And
instigator.
it-
I
it's
will
it's
laugh
hard.
at you.
To video record yourself this way is a lot easier
It
than it is to
is.
hold this, because then it like
Oh,
dips
then
down.
it's like, oh, my hand.
Yeah,
This is my
it's hard,
strong
it's hard.
hand. Hold my strong hand. It just ruins everything. That's true. I was looking at something I wanted to comment on, but I don't know. Did you see anything in the chat that was like, oh,
There's a lot of stuff. I mean,
There
I feel
is.
like everyone is going to eventually get into this. I think the way that we're going to sum this up is have discussions, like Whitney said. You don't
Definitely.
ever want it to escalate into arguments unless it's one of those really big issue things where it's like you've had a discussion, you've worked on it. At that point, I feel like it's going to kind of escalate to an argument
true.
if there was no resolution to any of it.
That's true. That's true. And like we said at the beginning, I'm going to have to go back and read that because I want to say it properly about the whole love them more than...
No, it's true. And like I feel like that's pretty much what it is. If you love someone, you're going to respect them. You're going to support them. You're going to be willing to have a discussion versus an argument.
That's right.
When you go into the argument, I think it's one of those things where it shows the lack of respect.
It is. It is. I mean, just the whole thing, yeah. That's it. So take the time to make sure during the argument that somewhere you have, like, it's almost like a safe word where you're telling yourself, like, I love this person more than I like being right. So now let's work with it. Doesn't mean that you're not right. It doesn't mean that you're throwing out your argument or whatever it may be, your point. Don't think that. Just remember that this is kind of like something that's going to be a little bit more pinnacle than winning the fight.
And the thing is, I think that would help a lot of people, and this is something that I've had to work on personally. There's a difference between being sympathetic and being empathetic. In an argument, when you are truly empathetic with someone, you see and understand things from their point of view with all of their experiences that led them up to this point. It's not acknowledging that they are right or that you are wrong or anything like that. It is just understanding that, like, hey, I understand what you're saying given these sets of circumstances from your point of view.
That's very
And I
true.
feel like that helps you in arguments a lot. It's something that doesn't come naturally to me. I know how to be sympathetic and be like, oh, poor you, pat, I'm sad. But to truly feel what it feels like to be in someone else's shoes when they are feeling down or, when they're having these arguments, discussions, whatever
Very
it might
true.
be. It's
Very
something
true.
that's super difficult, but it does open up that communication if you are able to empathize with the person you're talking to.
Boom!
Yeah.
That's it. I couldn't have said it better. I love exactly it. I don't want to ruin it or taint it with anything else. What you just said is exactly that. Funny question. Someone did ask, have you two ever tried setting somebody up?
Yes. They're married now and have a child.
There you go. There you go.
There's other ones that didn't work out. It was just like a single date.
Oh, yeah,
but
yeah.
Of course, I want to promote my ability.
Exactly. Not bad. Not
Yeah.
bad. I've set up friends, and yeah, sure, there are some that are married, and then there are others that are like,
It just didn't work
it
out
was
for
not
whatever
good
reason.
at all.
Yeah.
So, but that's not what I try to do. I like to just work with people that already decided they want to be with each other, and then help them. I don't want to put two people in it. You two should go together. And, it's like, no, it didn't work at all. I don't want to deal with that. I like to deal with people that at least said, this is our goal. We want to work on making this better. Those are people I like to deal with.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but one day we will probably do something if you guys would like, which is probably set up somebody's dating profile or just give you advice on how to do it.
We
That
can
would be
actually really
interesting.
do that. And the other thing we want to have in the future, if you guys have conventions in your area, ask them to come.
yes.
We would love to do a speed dating kind of thing.
Oh, we
we've
would
been
love
trying to
to.
set it up for a little while. It's unfortunately we haven't been able to get it at LACC, but one of our next cons probably in the LA area. We are going to try to get that set you guys up. If
That's
you're gonna be
right.
there.
So we'd love to. And you guys also go ahead and write to cons, your local cons, and if you tell them like, hey, I would love Quest for Player 2 to be there. I would love them to be able to go ahead and set up speed dating. You go ahead and write out to these people. They'll check in. They'll see what's going on, and we can get invited. We'd love to.
And speaking of conventions, we actually, producer Shay, we are going to be at LA Comic Con, and we
That's
have the
right.
schedule, which should be coming up. We will be doing 3 panels presented by the Luminerdi over there, and
That's right.
all of the moderators are going to be part of our elite crew.
That's right.
So we're super excited. It's going to
You're
be
going to have enlightened moderators. That's what
Yes.
you're going to have.
Yes.
That's the one thing you're going to have.
It's going to be October.
Is it October?
Our producer actually doesn't have this set up.
Oh,
we will.
shoot. Dang.
Hold on.
Oh, wait.
I'll
there-
fix it. I'll fix
Okay.
it.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
There you go. You guys didn't hear it, but that's Josh just saying right now.
He's gonna fix
go ahead and fix it. So he did this.
Yes. Yes.
That means vamp. Stretch it out. And we
All right.
are. We definitely will.
yeah.
Speaking of cons, definitely, like you said, we are going to be at LACC, and that's what we're looking for, to go ahead and get that schedule for you, to tell you exactly what's happening. Like you said, we're going to have enlightened moderators. That means they're Illuminati elite. So they'll be there.
Seeking out the truth.
Yes!
Just like our friend, what's his name?
Oh, the husband?
Yeah.
I forgot his name. I remember
Jacob?
her name.
Jason?
I remember her name and everything else, but I don't remember his name.
Jonah.
I don't.
Jonas?
Jonas is the bad guy.
Oh.
Jonas is that bad
Oh,
boy.
damn.
That bad boy. That's right, he's evil. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. The
Thanks,
hashtag
Comic Book
shows.
Realtor,
That's
October
right.
10th. So these are the times and these are the rooms if you're going to be at LA Comic Con. We have Power Rangers Battle of the Seasons. It's going to be hosted by Joe. Super excited to have that. The Sci Factor, sci-fi franchises that need to be brought back and rebooted.
That's going to be dope.
moderated by Justin Keyson.
That's
He's
right.
super good. And then on Sunday, we have Marvel Phase 4, which is a 101 introduction to everything you need to know before going into Phase 4 of the
That's
Marvel
right.
Cinematic
And
Universe.
that's full on Illuminati. You got Johnny Parker, Joe, and Tatiana, and it's going to be moderated by our own Justin Keyson. So that one is going to be probably one of the best ones, but I am interested in that sci-fi factor, dude. I do want to know what they decide as far as this panel, what they decide should come back.
Well, I'm actually really excited about the Power Rangers one because we don't know which guests are going to be there. You just have to tune in. Make sure to subscribe to all of our social media accounts.
That's right.
Check out the website at thathashtagshow.com.
That's right.
For all of this information.
All right. And speaking about Power Rangers, we do want you, when you said social media, that's when I thought about it immediately. If you guys don't know, but most likely all of you do, if you happen to love Power Rangers, just like we do, we want to make sure that we're able to do something and give something back to the fandom that exists for Power Rangers. And that's why we got together and we created Cosmic Protectors.
It is going to be a motion comic and audio drama. We are working on it currently.
Yes.
Some of the announcements that we have, a lot of us are going to be in the comics or voices
Yes.
of the comics. We have Tracy Lynn Cruz coming back as Ashley Hammond. Actually, Counselor Hammond.
Counselor Hammond
yes.
now.
She definitely got that promotion. It's
Go ahead,
super
girl.
exciting. We have some other people in the future that we'll be working on for issue 2 and so forth. We can't announce that yet. But please, if you have a chance to check out our Patreon page, if you go to patreon.com/cosmicprotectors, you can see all the rewards that we're giving out monthly. Super excited for that. For those of you who are a fan of Jess, you're going to get her full color line art this month, as well as it's Tracy's this month, right?
Tracy's also.
Tracy
That's
Lynn
right.
Cruz. So it's going to be both of theirs. We're super excited. And I guess that is the end of our plugs.
Well, yeah, I guess that's pretty much the end of our plugs, and we definitely do appreciate it. Oh, no, there's one more! There is one more! And that is, you guys are going to be headed to cons. Everybody knows the cons are happening right now. Now, you don't want to go to a con naked. 1. 2, because they will arrest you. Trust me, it's not a good thing. I've been arrested 5 times. Anyway, you don't want to go to a con naked as a man. It's being honest. It's a horrible toxic masculinity thing. They don't want to see men. They only want to see women. Women, you guys also want to probably show up covered up. Hey, I've got something up here and it's called a brain. Pay attention to it, you idiot. So, what you want to do, you want to go out and get shirts. You want to get shirts that people are going to pay attention to, they're going to be interested in, they're going to see, they're going to start a conversation, which is a great icebreaker. A t-shirt's a good icebreaker, I think so.
It is. And if you want to wait until Monday, actually, I think probably this Sunday, if we do the Retro Ranger wrap-up, we might... No, it'll be in October. We have a new shirt to announce, and I'm super excited for it, and I want you guys to buy that.
Yep, that's true. That's true.
But if you want to get these, we also have Power Ranger ones. They're super
That's
awesome.
right. That's right.
Great
Besides
mashup,
these...
But there's going to be a really great one coming up for October. We're super excited.
So you guys can go ahead and head on over or follow the link in the description. And if you're interested in getting some shirts, you can get them. They are having a sale where they're doing pretty much, is it 2 shirts for like possibly $20 some odd or something, which is usually the price
off.
of which is usually a heavier price. So head on over, check those out, see the designs that we're showing you. There are those and a whole lot more at our store. So check it out, support us, get a shirt, look cool at a con. Trust me, you'll be one of the only people having them because you got them from us. So check it out there. And with that, I think now we have finished all our plugs. And I want to know, where can people find you online?
Cosmic Protectors on Instagram.
That's right.
I haven't posted content this week, and actually I'm going to be out of town, so it might be a little rough. But follow us also on Facebook at Cosmic Protectors.
That's right. And for me, I want to cede my time and say check out the.illuminerdy on Instagram. Soon have a YouTube channel building up and also a website possibly coming soon. But right now, go ahead and check it out at the.illuminerdy on Instagram. You'll find out everything that's happening with us right there. We definitely do appreciate it. And yes, that's right.
We got to get those
Be that excited guy. Yes, you are right. We are trying to go ahead and make sure that we get the design for the shirt. We'll work on getting that out to you. Trust me, we definitely will. So until then, we want to say make sure that you guys hit that bell notification so you'll know when another episode is coming out and you'll know what's happening here. So you can go ahead and like, comment, share, and subscribe to keep up to date with everything trending.
In geek pop culture.
Good night,
Bye,
guys. Oh, wait, no, is that...